Just too enticing right now, you know? Look. Diamonds do the silly dance, I raise up the wine glass. Metal detectors beeping, it's security bypass. The numbers going up, someone pull up the line graph. The days are going by, it's like I'm living in time lapse. They talking to Adele like he majored in finance. Shania Twain notepad, I'm making it line dance. You try and rob me and it's gonna feel like you sitting at your favorite restaurant, cause that's where you dine at. Mob ties, I swear we like a with fine sisters and fine cousins, the family all bad. I'm preaching to the dolls about cleaning their images. I swear I'm like a young T.D. Jakes to my menaces. Long kiss goodnight, PDA for my nemesis. 300 acres, PGA on the premises. That's what's really bracking like this verse in parenthesis. I'm giving hits to on some don't even mention it. Like, don't even worry about it. Like, just give me back whenever, or don't, you know. It is what it is, I guess. Yeah. Look, you young boys take some of that money and set it aside. Not having enough to pay your taxes a federal crime. You obsessed with me and it's not on no hetero vibe. Handle beef so quiet, you think that I'm letting it slide. Next thing you know, we tiptoeing past enemy lines. Diss me so long ago, we making your memories fly. Conspiracy theories start floating around like the Kennedy guy. I'll probably hold a grudge against you guys till I'm 75. They flying for a living, I couldn't relate. We all gotta lay in the bed we make, but that couldn't be Drake. You forced a lot of fake love when real ones stood in your face. That's why you got deserted by your like pudding and cake. I got you on camera bowing down, but the footage is safe. Thank God, another USB to put in the safe. Thank God, at the crib dipping my foot in the lake. I swear that y'all turned me into the villain, I couldn't escape. Not saying I'm the best at what I do, I'm just saying that it's me versus whoever wanna lose. Pick any one of the who's. I got 2 tools for new crews. RIP to the DJ from Houston, we lose screws. Helicopters, cop lights, and news crews. Steady crying to my daddy, well boo-hoo. You probably heard a lot about the boy, well true.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB. It's Friday night, man, so you know what that means. Friday Q&A, answering all of your fantasy football, or maybe not fantasy football related questions as we head into the weekend. Lots of good football on this weekend, some good college games, definitely some good I almost said basketball games. Football games. That's what we're here for. We were talking basketball earlier today, and that just now it's been on my mind. So, look, man, that's what we're here for. Appreciate everybody being in here early. There was a ton of people in the chat: Matt, Jeff, Rob, Insidious, Bert, Johnny, VB, Trap, Jonathan, Johnny Detroit, Dream Beam, all you guys that were in the chat early. Appreciate every single one of you. But we did get a super chat from Matt right as the stream started. So as always, the super chat, it skips the line. It is the first priority. That's how we do it over here. So wanted to make sure that we showed this some love before we got into the video. He says, I love the vids and the content and help for my Survivor League. Should I start J-Mo, Henderson, Shaheed, or Jawan? Pick 2. For me, I would go with J-Mo as one of them. And then the other guy I would go with that is probably between Henderson and Shaheed. I think I'm going to go Henderson. So J-Mo and Henderson would be the 2 that I would be playing here this week. So like I said, as always, and then he follows it up. So I'm going to answer that one for you too. He says, Bourne Jennings or DJ Moore at wide receiver 3. Give me DJ Moore. So yeah, as I said, as always, the super chat skips the line tonight for the Q&As and things like that. So that's what we're doing. I feel all over the place. It's because I've got out of my normal intro. But look, if you guys want to support the channel, you can do so using our code over at Underdog. League FFB is the promo code. If you play $5, they will give you $100 in bonus funds. And right now is the best time to do it because they got Boost-tober right now over on Underdog. So look, we got out of control quickly. Let's get back on track, man. Let's answer those questions. I got these for you tonight, and we got a lot of them in here. So let's just start ripping them right off the jump. So the first question that I got here is from Jeff. I guess second question when we count for the super chat. Says, Worthy or Bourne? I have Mahomes at QB if that makes a difference. I would be going with Worthy. Steelers defense or Packers defense this week as well. Who do I have higher in my rankings? I have the Packers defense higher, so I would be playing the Packers defense. Insidious says, what up, big dog? How's it going? It's going good, man. Had a pretty chill day. Went to the store not too long ago and got some football card blaster packs. I've been ripping a bunch of football cards lately, man. Pulled a Brock Bowers rookie card with a jersey patch on it, so it's pretty cool. It's over here somewhere. But yeah, my day's been going good. Hopefully yours has as well. Bert says, I need 2 wide receivers and a flex in PPR this week. Waddle, Zay, BTJ, Judkins, and Rashad White. Give me Waddle for the first one. Give me Judkins as the second one. It's between Zay, BTJ, and White. I think I'm going to go with Rashad White. So Waddle, Judkins, and White would be the ones that I would play. Wait, I can't do that because it's 2 wide receivers. I guess Waddle, Zay, and Judkins. Unfortunately, it seems like you have to bench White, but I wish you didn't have to. PPR, no tight end premium. Do I start one of Dobbs, AJ Barner, Sterling Shepard, or Hollywood? I think I like Dobbs the most, personally. Traded Scat and Waddle for CD. What do we think? Should be solid. I think Waddle is going to low-key perform as this low-end wide receiver 1, high-end wide receiver 2 for the rest of the year, as long as 2 is healthy. But CD's a top 5 guy. Scat's been looking good, man. Probably good for you to consolidate, but it's not like he gave up some slouches. I think that's a good offer. Should I trade Ayuk and Aaron Jones for a 27-second and a 26th third? No, I wouldn't. He says it's the best offer. I mean, if you're rebuilding, maybe, but even then, it still feels like you're selling super low. Jonathan says, what up, Jonathan? Also got Scat attacked, only 40% to win. Who are we starting out of these? Olave, Henry, Bond, Matthew Golden. It's Olave for me. My gut says Hollywood with Detroit down 4 starters in the secondary. It could be Hollywood, but I don't know. It seems like since the beginning of the season, it's kind of not been the same as it was early on. I know that was because of the Worthy game, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's hard to trust. Dream Beam says Scat attacked. Different league, pick one. Matthew Golden, J-Mo, or Henderson. I'm going J-Mo. Just feel like he has the biggest play potential. Just traded King Henry and George Pickens for CD and Henderson. I think I like the CD side. I need BTJ awakening this week. T-Law just looks awful, in my opinion. A lot of people are getting fooled by last week's performance beating the Chiefs. I didn't think he looked that good, but some people now will tell you that he looks like he's playing well. I did not think that. My running back 2 right now is a toss-up, Rico or Trey. Hendo, give me Rico. What's up, man? You going Carter or Pittman in the flex? Is it time to worry about Barkley's usage? Not time to worry about the usage. Honestly, the Philadelphia Eagles have looked bad for everybody for the most part. Everybody's usage looks bad, which is weird. I guess not Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert's the only guy who looks decent at the moment. But between Carter and Pittman, I'm going Pittman. PPR, 1 running back and 2 flex. Henderson, Walker, Chase Brown, Michael Carter, BTJ, and Olave. I think I want to play both Brian Thomas and Olave. So that would be my 2 flex. The running back, I think the highest guy in my rankings is... Now I got to double check. It's Walker by 1 spot. I have Walker over Carter by 1 spot. I don't think he's taking Chuba's job. I think he's definitely getting himself a little bit more involved. But I did say early in the offseason, maybe one of my better takes. I don't know. I felt like Rico was going to be a little bit more involved than people thought he was going to be. And I drafted a lot of Rico in best ball, so that's looking pretty good right now. But I think it's still going to be a split committee, and Chuba's the lead back. Can you maybe sell me on why J-Mo? His boomer bust is so scary. That's also why I play him. I think the reality is when you're looking at the guys that you listed, Henderson, Shaheed, Juwan. Juwan's boom bust as well, in my opinion, with the injury. Shaheed is boom bust as well. And Henderson is boom bust at this point in time, and we haven't even really seen the boom from Henderson. So I think it's JMO more so for the lack of better options until I see some signs of life from guys like Henderson. But JMO, it just feels like he's in the best offense. He has the best chance at possibly catching a long touchdown. Kansas City is probably going to dial in a little bit more, with Trey McDuffie on, or Trent McDuffie on Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I think JMO's like the best of the boom bust options, but all of these guys are boom bust. Man, 1 QB dynasty, 1-4, and I haven't even faced the top 2 teams yet. Am I competing this year? I'm 3rd in points for 12-man, 1 QB. I'm 1-4, and I haven't even faced. I mean, it's tough for me to know if you're competing this year. I mean, I don't know what the roster looks like. I don't know what your league looks like. 1-4 doesn't sound great. You haven't faced any of the top teams. That doesn't sound great. Are you competing this year? 3rd in points for would say that maybe you are. You're just getting a little bit of bad luck. I don't know. It's tough for me to tell you with, lack of context, I think, Ken. Full PPR, Golden or Bourne, and Njoku versus Taylor, and Stafford versus Knicks. I like Bourne over Golden, I think. I like Taylor over Njoku. And Stafford versus Knicks. That's a close one. I have Stafford 1 spot over Knicks. So Stafford, Taylor, Bourne. Bert says Kittle or Tyler Warren rest of season, assuming Kittle comes back in week 7. I think I still go Kittle, but it's very, very close. All right, here's some more context. Actually, it looks like we got that in there. Herbert, Jones, Bijan, Hampton, JCM, Devonta, London, Tet, Igbuka, Myers, Flowers, Ertz, Strange. Yeah, I mean, it looks like you should be a competitive team. I think I would just stay the course. It seems like you've had a little bit of bad luck. If you're 3rd in points for and this is your starting lineup, I think I'm all right with it. But you risk, Hampton not playing for a little bit of time. London, I don't know. It's tough. But you're young enough, too, that even if the season goes bad, you have young players all over the place. So I'm not really too worried. PBR flex one between Shakir and Chase Brown. I think I'm going Shakir. I want to see something from Chase Brown with Flacco until I'm confident throwing him back in my starting lineup again. Myers versus Chase Brown. I think it's Myers again. There's nothing safe for me about Chase Brown at the moment. What's up? Thoughts on Romeo Doubs in the flex this week? Also, I got Kraft and Love. Is this too much exposure to this game with Cincy being sla? Asking for a friend. Maybe a little bit exposure, but honestly, it seems fine. Love, Kraft, Dobbs, they're probably going to throw at least 3 touchdowns in this game. You just hope that, one's to Dobbs and one's to Kraft. That's really what you're hoping for, but I think it's fine. I think you have a fine play here, and you asked my thoughts on Romeo Doubs. Right now in my rankings, he is currently my wide receiver. Where is he? 31. I have him right in the range of Wan'Dale Robinson, DJ Moore, Calvin Ridley. It's kind of right there. I have him over Matthew Golden. He's my number 1 wide receiver for the Packers this week in my rankings. DK Metcalf, Chris Olave, or Pittman in the flex. Pick one. Thank you. It's going to be DK. I think DK is the best play. Has the highest upside probably of all these guys as well. Johnny says, loving the JMO love from you tonight. Look, they're going to ask me questions that are JMO versus Shaheed. I got to go with JMO, man. Ronaldo says, do you think Bryce Young can have 20-plus points this week against the Dallas defense? Darnold and Mac Jones are on waivers. Thank you so much. He can. Dallas has been giving up a ton of points to quarterbacks this year. But with Darnold and Mac on waivers, I have Darnold higher than Bryce. I have him higher than Mac. Darnold would be my pickup and play against Jacksonville. I'd play him over. Darnold is the play. Edson, my guy, what's up, man? Says, what's up, Godly? Caught one of their. I think he's saying caught one of these. Appreciate you being here. Jonathan says different league, PPR, flex play, Shepard, Bateman, or Douglas. This is deep. This is deep. But if I'm playing one of them, it's Sterling Shepard. Non-PPR, pick one. Carter, Swift, Chase Brown. Give me Michael Carter. Non-PPR league, Michael Carter it is. Matt says, okay, I'm convinced. JMO or die. Well, let's hope it's JMO this week, man. Look, maybe it's the big play touchdown. They happen every once in a while. And I feel like we haven't got one in a couple of weeks, so we're there. Harold Fannin or Mason Taylor? Harold Fannin is pretty boom bust, I think, at this point in time. Mason Taylor is the play for me. I got a trade offer in redraft. It's a 12 team, and I got offered Addison for Michael Carter and Dowdle. My running backs are Judkins, Scattaboo, Genty, and Hendo. My wide receivers are JSN, AJ, Worthy, and Ridley. Except, I think you have the running back depth to put up with it. I think the reality is you're trading immediate production right now for probably another 2 to 3 weeks for long-term flex play production, wide receiver 3 production from Jordan Addison. So yeah, if you're looking more towards like end of season performances, I don't mind taking the Addison side. It's a fair deal. Start 2 with T-Mac, Garrett Wilson, Genty, and Cook. Wow, this is a hell of a start-sit decision. If these are the guys you're looking to bench, that's crazy. Either a shallow league or something like that. But or you just got a God squad. Ted McMillan is one of the highest in my rankings this week, so I'm going to go with Ted McMillan. I'm also going to go with I think I'm going to go with Garrett Wilson. It's him or Genty. I think T-Mac and Wilson, though, will be my plays. If it's PPR, it's those two guys for sure. My running backs are trash in my Yahoo league. I need to start 2. Henderson, RJ, Harvey, Sharps, Vidal, or Kendre Miller. Full PPR. That is tough. What is our latest news here on Alvin Kamara? Questionable. Let me, one more time. Hold on. Limited at practice. I mean, look, here's the thing. If Kamara doesn't play, I think you have to play Kendre Miller and probably Henderson. But if Kamara does play, I think I'm going Henderson and Harvey, I think. That's tough. That is a tough one. Raul says, sup, Drew. Hope all is well. Flex 2 with Keenan at Miami, Marvin Harrison at Indianapolis, Dobbs at home versus Cincinnati, or Darren Waller at home versus Los Angeles Chargers. It's a full PPR league. So 2 of them, I'm going to go with Marv and Keenan. Those are going to be the 2 plays for me. And hope all is well with you too, Raul. Good looks, broski. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Till the next one. Appreciate you, dude. Johnny says, Flacco should unleash Chase, Higgins, and Chase Brown this week. Gesicki might see some life too. It'll be sweet to see Flacco beat Green Bay twice in 2 weeks. FTP. I agree, FTP, but we'll see if he unleashes them. I hope he does. I really do. I hope he does, because I have, a little bit of exposure across a lot of my big money leagues of Chase Brown, some T. Higgins in there, and things like that. So I'd like to see him kind of reignite these guys, but I don't know. I'm cautiously pessimistic, if I could say so. I think that's kind of where I'm at with this. Can't believe I'm asking, but this week, Sam, David, AJ Barner, or Tongas. Sam, I'm assuming Sam Laporta, and I would be playing Sam Laporta. I figured it was a shallow league. I figured. Need to start 3 with Adams, BTJ, Jennings, and Jacoby Myers. Sit Jennings, play Adams, BTJ, and Jacoby. But I'm looking at Carter, Golden, or Bourne, giving Scary Terry's out. I like Carter more than flexing one of those other guys. I think I'd go Sam and Carter. Scatta boom. We hit the boom. Scatta boom. Got his ass. Frank says, Dynasty, I got a trade offer for Gibbs and Worthy for Ibuka, Marvin Harrison, and Dobbins. My wide receivers are Jettas, Odunze, are my best wide receivers. I took over this orphan last year. Would you make this trade? Still rebuilding. Gibbs and Worthy for Ibuka, Marvin Harrison. Nope. If I'm rebuilding, I'm just going to take Ibuka and Marv and keep going, and I would probably trade Dobbins if I could, but I just want the Ibuka and Marv side. A trade went down earlier that I think was bogus. Odunze and Swift for Jettas. I mean, is it a dynasty? It's still not great, but like I could see people getting caught up in the dynasty Odunze hype. Redraft, I could see it too if you think Odunze is going to continue to be top 5. Bears superfan, I mean, yeah, give me Jet as always, but I can understand it, I guess. KW3 or Keenan. Give me Keenan. Especially if QJ's out. He's been questionable all week. Stream a tight end, Njoku, Taylor, or Tongas. I like Taylor. Rate my running back room in a 12-team PPR start 7. Brees, Judkins, Henderson, Chase Brown, Charbonnet, Harvey. It looks oddly similar to a running back room that I have in one of my leagues. My running back room is Montgomery, Chase Brown, Scattaboo, Henderson, Charbonnet. So it's similar. I would say you feel okay, but it doesn't feel great overall. So Brees and Judkins is nice. We gotta see Henderson start breaking out, and maybe a resurgence from Chase Brown to feel really comfortable, but good, not great. 6.5 out of 10. Nico or Rice rest of season. I think I might go Rashee Rice rest of season. Good call on Stephon Diggs last week, brother. Hey, I'm glad we were able to get that one right for you. We're never going to shoot 100%, but I'm glad at least it helped you. So thank you. Bert says 4-1 in a 10-team PPR. Current main squad is Lamar, Bijan, Jacobs, Quinshawn, Waddle, BTJ, Zay, Rashi, and Kittle. Do you see any big upgrades needed or any ideas for guys to target in a trade? Well, 4-1 in a 10-man with that team. I mean, the wide receiver room is probably a room that you want to improve, but with Rashi coming back, Waddle, getting the boost, I think you're okay. Maybe it's just getting another wide receiver. But overall, this is a really good team. I think I'm just being patient and sitting on it. Is Scat for real or a sell high? I have 0 shares. Just curious. I sold him in a league last week. I wish I would have sold him this week, but I sold him in a league last week. Let me pull up his KTC value to tell you how high he's going, and then some of the guys that I would be looking at in that range. But he's getting a little... The hype is there. Let's just say the hype is real. The hype is real for Jackson Dart as well. But Scatterboo's running back 16 on Keep Trade Cut. I mean, it's putting him over guys like Kenneth Walker, Derrick Henry, ETN, Chase Brown. I think I'd take him over those players. So I don't think he's a sell there. The next group of guys above him would be like Jacobs, Brees, Trevion Henderson, Kyron. If he gets into that tier, I'm selling. So I think right now he's like on the cusp of a sell, potentially. Is it time to sell Barkley in redraft? Also, rough night for the Phillies. I wouldn't be selling Barkley in redraft. I mean, it's not looking great for the most part, but a big game is probably going to be coming soon for Saquon Barkley. He's too talented of a player, and it's too good of a football team not to have that come his way. So I think he's probably a player I'd wait for the big game, and then you can do what you need to do. Dynasty, I'm 3-2, number 1 in points for, second in the league, facing first place to take first. I got offered Henderson, Stroud, plus 2 2027 first for T-Law and Amon-Ra. Wow, that's a pretty good offer. I think I'm going to stick with the Amon-Ra side of the deal, though, if I'm second in the league or second in points for trying to take first place. I think I'm going to stay competitive and just keep Amon-Ra, though. Unless those firsts you think are early. If they're early, I could understand it, but yeah, I kind of want to have the Amon-Ra side and still contend. Start one. It's a non-PPR. It's Murray, Dimes, Mack, or Darnold. I need the upside playing against Knicks, Amon-Ra, and Puka. I mean, if you need upside, I don't think Mack is the upside. I'm going to kind of shy away from Kyler. Just the fact that he's been banged up this week, but he does probably have close to the most upside. It's crazy to say that I think Daniel Jones might have the most upside here. So I'm probably going to play him. Second to that Gibbs and Ibuka trade, I got an offer earlier to trade Dobbins and Benson for a 2028 first, a 2028 second, and a 2026 fourth. Would you make that trade? Yeah, I mean, with you rebuilding, I would take a first for those guys and a second for those guys. I would do it. In that same league with that running back room, I also got JD5, Lamb, Ibuka, Kraft, Mason Taylor. So how's the team overall looking? Yeah, I mean, you got weapons here with Lamb, JSN, Ibuka. Like this, it makes sense why your running back room is the way that it is because you're strong at the wide receiver position. So I like it overall. Ken says, can you please help me sit one of these guys? Keenan, Pittman, ETN in a PBR league. I think I'm going to sit, as of right now, Keenan. If QJ misses this game, I will sit, I think, ETN. So play Keenan. If QJ misses, if QJ plays, play ETN. Hopefully that makes sense. But always play Pittman. Goff, Caleb Williams, or Bryce Young for Sam Darnold this week. Main is Lamar, but he's down for the count. It's not going to be Bryce. It's probably not going to be Sam. I think the highest guy in my rankings is probably Caleb Williams. I have Caleb Williams currently as my QB 11. Jared Goff is my QB 14. So, yeah, give me Caleb Williams. How do you feel about Breece Hall rest of season? I don't know, man. I think he's truly a trade candidate, a guy that could be moved here. And if he does, it's a coin flip on what that looks like, where he goes, what the backfield is. Like, I'm nervous, man. I don't know. I don't love him rest of season, but I don't hate him either. Like, as long as he's in New York getting these touches, he should be fine. It's tough to tell. It's really tough to tell, but I truly think he's going to be a trade candidate. Non-PBR, start one, flex, T. Higgins, Harvey, or Hendy. Or pick up Ridley, Bourne, or Jennings off of waivers. I think I would go with T. I think I'd play T. Is Brian Thomas Jr. worth a 27 first, or should I aim for more? Or less, I guess. No, I think a 27 first feels fine right now, depending on where it is. BTJ is a player that if I have him on my rosters, I'm not selling right now. I'm probably just holding him because I think I think it's more likely than not that he kind of bounces back up to relevancy. I don't know if we're going to see him ever get back to where he was. He was like Dynasty wide receiver 6 at some point this offseason. I don't think we get back to that territory, but I think he gets a little bit of a bounce back. I'm on Gibbs and Sam on my squad. I didn't want 3 Lions, but it just turned out that way. Not the end of the world, right? I also have Njoku and Barner, and no one really seems to want Sam. Yeah, I mean, it just works out that way, I think. And honestly, Amon and Gibbs, there's not much better than them anyways at their position. So I think you're just fine here. It is what it is. Like, they're going to score so much anyways most weeks that you're okay. Dobbins or ETN, half PPR. Also, Steelers or Packers defense. I got the Packers defense higher. When it comes to the running backs, I think I got ETN higher. He is currently my running back 15, and Dobbins is my running back 18. So I would go with ETN. Starting lineup is May, Barkley, Genty, London, Worthy, Odunze, Kelsey, and Ladd. I'm 1-4, been the most scored on every week. Think it will level out. It should. It's variance. It's a game of variance. I think, with that lineup of Barkley, Genty, London, Worthy, Odunze, you do have players that I think are solid. Some that have underperformed a tiny bit in London and Ladd, even Genty to an extent. I think it'll level out eventually. Stay the course. Super chat from Edson. Edson says, JD, Amon, Gibbs, Judkins, Laporta, that's the core. Yeah, that's a good core right there as well. Daniels, Amon-Ra, Gibbs, Judkins. I like it. I like it a lot. And even though you have the 3 Lions, like we said, I don't think it's a big deal because of how good the offense is. Appreciate the super chat, Edson. Jeffrey says, this has kept me up for the last 2 nights. Well, you better get some sleep after this answer here, Jeffrey. 12-team PPR redraft. Should I trade Sutton, ETN for Nico and Javonte? I have Amon-Ra, BTJ, 8, AK, Genty, Jordan Mason. Should you trade Sutton and ETN for Nico and Javonte? Yes, I would take Nico and Javonte side. 1 flex with Ladd, Hendo, or Vidal. Also have Dart and Marks on the bench. I would be going with Ladd. Ladarius McConkey. Insidious says, you got a specific game that you're watching with Vikings on bye, or you're going to be a red zone Randy? Most Sundays am a red zone Randy anyways, unless my Vikings are on and then I'm watching that game in a double box with red zone. So that's really the only time. But I do probably want to see, the one I'm the most excited about would be this Lions and Chiefs game. I think that one will be interesting. I think there's going to be some good fantasy points there. And I have a lot of fantasy players on the Detroit Lions across all of my leagues. Just having to work out that way. Johnny's probably excited to hear that. But yeah, I have probably just as many Lions, maybe more Lions than I do Vikings on my fantasy teams. Dimes over Darnold. You don't think it'll be a Taylor game? I don't know. I think there's a little bit of rushing upside there. Darnold is solid, but I don't know. Darnold feels so boom bust. He's been playing really good. I'm still going with Dimes, man. Start 2 wide receivers, 1 flex, full PPR. Waddle, Tetaroa, Flowers, Rashad, Judkins, and Diggs. I think I'm going to start Tet, Waddle. I kind of want to go Diggs as well. Somebody commented earlier this week and was like, Andrew, you have Diggs so high in your rankings. I haven't missed my wide receiver 11 this week. I'm going Diggs, man. I'm going Diggs, Waddle, and Tetaroa. Smart man having Lions on your teams. Yeah, look, I've liked a lot of the players that you guys have drafted. It's just kind of worked that way in Dynasty. I liked Amon-Ra a lot coming out of USC. I liked Jahmyr Gibbs a lot, and I kind of felt like he was a really good consolation prize to Bijan if you didn't win those sweepstakes. Got a lot of JSN that year as well. Also drafted a lot of Bryce Young, just being honest. But yeah, it's kind of just worked out that way, and I'm not mad about it. I will say, Johnny, the one player that I don't have any shares of at all is JMO. I don't got any JMO. I don't like him in fantasy, but I don't like boom bust players in general. I kind of like the PPR guys. Should I trade Genty and Odunze for Gibbs? I don't think so. I think I would rather have Genty and Odunze. It feels like you're giving up a little bit too much. Gibbs is the best player, but that feels a little bit too much. What's the most aggressive offer you would give for Hendo, hoping a couple weeks of a limited role to swoop. The guy's very interested in T-Law, but that puts me at only JD and Penix as my QBs in a super flex. I'd send a 26 first. Say, hey, look, it hasn't looked good for you. You want to re-roll? I'd give him my 26 first. I'd be willing to do it. And I think a lot of people would probably consider it at this point in time. And if he's saying like, nah, I'm not willing to do it, a first and like a flex play type of running back, and a flex play type of running back, I would say is like my late 2026 first if I'm a contender and Dobbins. My late 26 first if I'm a contender and Ja'Cory Crosky Merritt. Like that would be kind of what I'd be willing to move for Hendo. Kraft or Hawkinson rest of season. I think I'm going to go with Kraft. I think I have a little bit more safety in the offense. We still need to see what JJ McCarthy looks like. The sample size has still been so small, so I think there's risk with the Vikings offense for sure. But I will say with Hawkinson's a player that I've been trying to buy just very sneakily in some leagues on the cheap, because weeks 9 through 17, he has the easiest tight end schedule in football for fantasy. So he's a player that's a little bit intriguing as you get, later into the year. Maybe they get a little bit more comfortable with McCarthy under center. He's a sneaky buy, but I think Kraft is the safer play. Start 3 with JSN, Sutton, Igbuka, Debo, Dobbs in the standard. JSN and Igbuka would be two of the ones that I play. It's between Debo and Sutton. I think in a standard, I think I'm going to go Debo in a standard. Danny says, I sent a trade. I have May, so Kelsey, Henderson, Worthy, or Odunze for HN and Diggs. Bad trade? I have May, so it's Kelsey, Henderson, Worthy, or Odunze. Well, to be honest, if it's Worthy or Odunze, I think there is a significant gap between Worthy and Odunze, so I wouldn't be saying or. I would just say Worthy, because Odunze I have way higher in my rest of season rankings than Worthy. So I would definitely sell Kelsey, Henderson, and Worthy for HN and Diggs. Frank says, should I start Fannin or pick up Otten, Jonnu, or Mayer this week? Is Fannin droppable? Kind of. He's like... I like Fannin more than I like Jonnu on the waiver. I like him more than I like Mayer. I kind of like Otten as a play this week as a stream. I think I'd probably pick up and play Otten. I don't have a 26 first. I was trying to flip T-Law, Laporta, and Benson for Stroud and Hendo. He said he'll pass for now. Yeah, that would have been a good move too, because if you can move the T-Law into Stroud, it's not bad. You may have to wait. You risk, Henderson going off, but you may have to wait another week or two, or maybe get a little bit creative. Maybe move. Try a 3-team deal. See if you can sell somebody Laporta for a 26 first, and then the 26 first goes over to that guy, and then Henderson comes over to you. Like, try and see if you can do a 3-team where it's that easy. It's a little bit more complicated to try and talk the negotiations, but I've found that if you want a 3-team and you have a guy that you're closer to in a league that's willing to make it work, and you're like, hey, do you like Laporta for a first? Yeah. All right, I'm going to throw us in a 3-team and just get it done. As long as he gets what he wants and you get what you want, the third guy can figure it out. Frank says, would you trade Gainwell for Haskins straight up in Dynasty? I traded for Hampton, and then 2 hours later, he got hurt and is on IR. Nah, probably not. I think I'd rather have Gainwell. They're both fringe roster assets, I think, in Dynasty anyways. But I think I'd rather have Gainwell. Haskins becomes unplayable as soon as Hampton's back. Gainwell, at least, I feel like can still be played a little bit in a pinch. Traded Walker and RJ Harvey for Genty. Did I win this trade? Yes, you did. Still also have Bucky, Rashad, Travion, and Pollard. Yeah, I like that trade a lot for you. I think it's solid. Super chat from Raul. Raul says, appreciate all that you do, bro. I'm sure it's time-consuming and frustrating at times. Never that, man. I appreciate you. I mean, time-consuming for sure. Time-consuming for sure. But I appreciate the super chat. I appreciate you showing love. Means a lot, man. This is what I signed up for. This is what I'm here for. So I'm glad that you guys appreciate it, and I'm more than happy to do it. What's good, Andrew? I have a PPR league in my flex. Should I start wide receiver Tucker or Higgins? I think I would play Higgins. 12-man Dynasty Superflex, full PPR, tight end premium, start 11. Bye week, hell, in need of a flex. Who do I start, Haskins or Vidal? Haskins is the safe play. I think Vidal is the ceiling play. I like Kamani Vidal over Haskins as a pickup. But this is a tough... I mean, it is what it is. I think if you are projected to lose, if it's bye week hell, you might be projected to lose and you're shooting for upside. Vidal is the upside swing. No problem, Ronnie. Appreciate you. Would y'all trade Keenan and Harvey for Rice all day long? All day long. Funny thing, I did propose a 3-team instead of a first. It was Devonta Smith. Haven't gotten a response. Things can move slow. Hey, you're on the right track. That's exactly what I would have done. Bucky or Javonte rest of season. Give me Bucky. And he says redraft with Keenan and Harvey still all day long. All day long, Rashi Rice. Fields or Dak? That's a good question. I think I have Dak higher in my rankings this week. I do. I have Dak as my QB7. So I'd be playing him. All right, so it does look like we've got caught up, folks. We're about 40 minutes, a little past the halfway point. So we got about 15 more minutes-ish, 15, 20 minutes left that we're going to be answering questions. Appreciate everybody who's been hitting the like button. It is the best free way to show this channel some support. Right now we're at 26, so it would be dope. If you haven't done that, you could go do that for us. If we've answered your question, you just had some fun, entertaining, time here tonight, just hanging out with the people and talking with us, do me the favor, hit that like button. If you want to go the extra mile, you want to support us just a little bit more, and you've never played over on Underdog Fantasy, you can definitely do that. If you play $5, you will get $100 in bonus funds if you use promo code LeagueFFB. So I would strongly encourage you to go do that if you've never done it, and you want to, obviously, because they are basically giving you a ton of free money, $100 for free, just to go over there and try it out. And it is Boost-tober. This whole month, they are doing promos every single day in the app. So if you've never played, lots of fun right now, lots of cool ways to play. So you've probably heard of Underdog if you've been around the fantasy space for a long time. Seems like every creator has had an Underdog code, but if you, for some reason, have never heard of it and you want to support a smaller creator, code LeagueFFB is the best way to do it. So I would appreciate you guys for that. But let's not wrap this up, but let's get into our final, push here to answer these questions and get this wrapped up by 9 o'clock. All right, where were we? Johnny says, if you're a lineup league guy, I understand why JMO isn't attractive. I have 50% exposure to JMO across 26 leagues with best ball as my preferred format with a couple lineup leagues. Yeah, totally agree with this statement actually as well. I don't play in best ball formats. I play in less leagues. I'm not really a big portfolio guy. I play in about 5 to 6-ish leagues total, and all of them are lineup. So that's why I don't really like him as much. And I think it's just because, like you said, in a best ball, you get the good. You don't have to put up with the bad. In a lineup, I have to make those decisions every week. So that's a little bit more tough. So yeah, I've always kind of been a little bit more of a less leagues and spend more time on those leagues and their lineups. So they're a little bit time consuming. Also, I just being totally transparent with you guys. When I'm doing content in season for fantasy stuff all the time, it's funny because, the reason why I started doing content was because I love fantasy so much. I wanted to talk about it all the time. Now I have less time to play fantasy. So if I do play in leagues, they got to be like less leagues, and then I take those ones very seriously. So it's kind of like a less is more thing for me right now. And the first year that I really did this for real as like a full-time job, I had a real like, oh shit, I can't play in that many leagues anymore because I just don't have enough time to make the video on the content and then go manage all of the leagues after I've spent, a couple hours making the video on the content. Because before then, the time that I would have spent making that video was tinkering around in my league. So it's kind of like a trade-off that I've had to come to terms with, but I'm not complaining about it. I definitely prefer it this way, I think. Trap says K-Don for Ray Davis. Small trade, I know, in Dynasty. If you need tight end help, sure. I don't think it's, league shaking by any means. I think if I had to pick one, no lineup considerations, no roster considerations, just straight up in a bubble, I'd probably take Ray because I think the upside for Ray Davis is higher if there was ever an injury to James Cook. Colin says, I'm reloading Addison and Dobbins for Travion. Wide receivers are good. My running backs, I have James Cook, Krosky, Dobbins, and after that, it's not looking good. I like this deal for you. I would take I would trade Addison and Dobbins for Travion. Edson says, I'm in a rebuilding league. Who should I start, Isaiah Davis or Tootin? I really want to just kick one of my homies while he's down. He's 2-3 out of the playoff picture with his future one sent to me for Garrett Wilson. Who do I even have? I don't know who I even have higher in my rankings. Both these guys are going to be in like the 40s or 50s range for me. Yeah, Tootin is my 46th running back, and Isaiah Davis is 48. So I guess if I have to pick one, it's Tootin. Raul says, I'm still in search for a running back. Some offered Kyron and Garrett Wilson for Puka and Iron Manor. I think that's the best offer you've come to me with. I still prefer Puka. But that's the best offer you've come to me with. If we're pivoting off of Barkley, would you rather Bucky or James Cook? I'm a contender, by the way. I think I like James Cook more than Bucky. Rest of season. He says, or if you wanted to move off of Barkley as a contender, who would you target? I don't think those are bad names. I think those are two good names to look at. If you're looking as a contender, maybe the only other names I would look at would be like Kyron. And that's probably about it, man. That's probably about where we're at. So Kyron would probably be another one that I would look at. Raul says, to football or not football related at all, I always wondered, what are those on the second shelf behind you? You're talking about these ones right here. So that shelf is kind of just a bunch of little knickknacks that I've collected over the years. A lot of these, let me grab one. I'll show you real quick. So they're little like Lyrical Lemonade cans. I have a guy that I like on YouTube. He does music videos. He's kind of does a lot of rap videos and things like that. His name's Cole Bennett. I've always kind of been a content guy, and in college I worked in film studios and things like that, and I made some music videos for fun, and I directed some music videos and did things like that. Cole Bennett was always an inspiration for me. I like the way that he's kind of went about building his own media company and his own media business. And I think some of the behind the scenes stuff is really cool. So he's always kind of been a guy I think creatively I've looked up to. And so I collect these little Lyrical Lemonade cans from him. He has a bunch of them. Some of them are like rap artist related. Other ones are just cool designs. But I have those on the back shelf. And then I have a Lakers Prime bottle there because I'm a Lakers fan. I have a Kobe Mamba. It's a Mamba Forever, whatever that is, body armor drink over there, just a collection thing. There's a Vikings Santa Claus up there. And I'll show you this too. Hold on. Now we're at show and tell, folks. Sorry. Then my wife got me this Funko Pop. It's supposed to be me. Can you tell the resemblance? My wife got this for me, but yeah, a little Vikings hoodie on it. It's got a camera, a football. She got me that one. There's like a tiny one of our cat that's right next to it. And then those little things in the front, we got those when my wife and I, we went on our honeymoon, right after we got married. So yeah. You know what, Edson? You were way smarter than me, brother. He said, just put the shelf in focus. How about this, folks? Hold on. How's that? There you go. That's better. So then there's like little like skeleton things. We got those at like, there's a hole in the wall in Utah somewhere. We were driving from Utah to Colorado and we found that stuff. So there you go. There's some Pop Funkos at the top, some championship trophy stuff, whatever. Basically, that's what it is. Long story short, I don't want to waste too much of your guys' time talking about the bullshit on my shelf. But they've just been little collection pieces for me. Hopefully we're good here. Back in focus. I think so. And right in time, I think we're right in focus. Hold on. There we go. Super chat here from Dragon. I hope I'm saying that right. Dragon 999 says, I have Pickens, Garrett Wilson, CD, Romo Dunze, Rashi Rice, Stephon Diggs, 3 wide receivers and a flex. PPR, my running backs are Hampton, on IR, Harvey, Jalen Warren, Haskins. Okay. All right, so we are going to be picking 3 wide receivers and a flex from this group. So give me Romo Dunze. I'm going to go Garrett Wilson, George Pickens, and Stephon Diggs. Those are going to be the 4 that I play. There's a second part to this question where he says, I'm 1-4 in PPR and I need to win. Do I trade Garrett Wilson for Derrick Henry? I would not trade Garrett Wilson for Derrick Henry, but I think you have 4 solid plays this week with Garrett Wilson, Pickens, Rome, and Stephon Diggs. Edson says better keep Puka. Trying to trade Kelsey for a decent running back because I have Kittle coming back. Who should I aim for? Who are you going to be able to trade Kelsey for? Let's check Fantasy Calc. I'll tell you the running backs in his range that I would probably be willing to trade for. You could try and move for like a Chuba on the low right now. Maybe a guy like Tony Pollard, a Jordan Mason. Outside of that, there's not a lot to like. Maybe a Woody Marks if people are down after last game. Those would kind of be the names I'd be looking at, Danny. Johnny says Kamara to the Chargers. It would be a good fit. I think it would be a good fit. In a start 1 QB dynasty, does it make sense to try and trade London, Jacobs, and Penix to get Amon-Ra and May when I'm already starting Bo? I don't think so. I'd rather have London and Jacobs in my lineup than Amon-Ra. Would trade JMO for Kraft in a 0.25 tight end premium dynasty league? Nah, that's not enough of a tight end premium for me to care about the tight end position. I would just rather have JMO. Why do you like Cook more than Bucky in Dynasty? I think we've just seen the usage. The usage is insane. Obviously, Bucky's usage has been fine too. But I think Cook's a more talented player, was the more talented prospect in the better offense. It's a good offense there in Tampa Bay. I think there's just a little bit more to like with Cook. He feels safer too, with some pretty good upside. So Yeah, I like him, and the touchdown role for him just has not faded away despite the regression that everybody wants him to have. Garrett Wilson about to get clamped by my dog Sertan. Maybe. I currently have Garrett Wilson as my wide receiver 14 on the week. If I end up keeping Puka, my backs rest of the season would be Bucky, JCM, and Woody Marks. Yeah. I mean, maybe JCM has a good week again this week. Marks has a better week. Maybe you start feeling a little bit better, but I get it. The thing is, I guess the good thing here, Raul, is as long as you're not losing a bunch of games, nobody's going to not want Puka. Puka's going to always be somebody that people want on their team, so it's not like the trade market's going to evaporate for him. He says, sad, I know I lost Connor, that's why. Yeah, it makes sense. 6-man in a full PPR dynasty. Just got offered CeeDee Lamb, a 26 late first and 27 late first. I'm giving up. Or Puka, I'm getting. Should I take it? No. Give me Lamb and the 2 firsts over Puka. Especially in a 6-man, late first is like a top 6 pick, even if it's the champs team. So yeah, no, just give me the Lamb. Matt says 2027 seconds hold any value in your opinion, and if some, who are players you think could equal it, even though it's time away? Yeah, they're definitely worth something for me. I just did a video on the Dynasty Nerds. I recorded it for the Dynasty Nerds channel today where I was talking about 26 seconds, but the 26 seconds and the 27 seconds aren't like far off in value. So some players that I mentioned were like TJ Hawkinson, Mason Taylor, Josh Downs, Jaden Reed, who else? Ja'Cory Crosby Merritt, DeAndre Swift. Like these were names that I would potentially be looking at if I was trying to sell seconds for production. In a rebuilding team, who would you rather have, Igbuka or Neighbors? I would rather have Neighbors, but the conversation is so close, and it's such an interesting conversation I've seen floated around over the last week or so, but crazy that we're here with Igbuka already. But I think I would rather have Neighbors. In a dynasty, are y'all trading Nico and Judkins for CeeDee? No, I'd rather have Nico and Judkins. He says 12-team super flex. Dowdle over K9 in my flex this week. I currently have Dowdle as my running back 14, and I have him over Walker. So yeah, I would be playing him over. Garrett Wilson is hampered by poor quarterback play his entire career. How awesome would he be with a legit quarterback? I mean, the reality is, like, I felt like Garrett Wilson coming out of college, he was my clear number 1 wide receiver in that class. And has that aged fine? I think so. I don't really know what the other argument would be. Maybe London. But Garrett Wilson has felt like he was the clear number 1 to me from a talent perspective. I truly believe if he had good quarterback play throughout the majority of his career, we would be talking about him, the same way that we've talked about guys like Igbuka and guys we've talked about JSNs and stuff like that at that point, where like we're viewing these guys as top 5-ish dynasty wide receivers for the most part. Igbuka, we're a little bit early on that one, but I think JSN has an argument as a top 5 dynasty guy right now. I just think he would be so legit with... basically what I'm saying is I agree with you, Johnny. Redraft, is trading Adams, Garrett Wilson, or Rashee Rice for Derrick Henry a fair deal? My wide receivers are Chase, Adams, Addison, Rice, Garrett Wilson, and Burden. Yeah, I mean, if you could trade Adams for Derrick Henry, that feels like a fair deal, and I think it's worth the risk. But that's probably what I would be doing. I don't think I would sell Garrett Wilson or Rice for Henry at this point in time. Why, as a top team, wouldn't I trade all of my picks if I can get the top young players for really good value back, like buying JSN or Chase on the low from bad teams? You would absolutely do it. I mean, that's what you should be doing, honestly. It says people really seem to be selling really good players, and I have traded so many picks away. Yeah, that's the cheat code to Dynasty. Find the teams that want to rebuild and see if they're willing to sell young, good players for draft capital, and just buy the players that have already broke out or shown you flashes that you like. That's what I like to do in Dynasty. I don't typically, I mean, I like drafting, don't get me wrong. I like drafting the rookie picks, but if you can get guaranteed rookies or young players that have already performed, I'm doing that all day long. I traded my 104 in a league this year for Lad McConkey. I think at this point in time, you could argue like you could have drafted Igbokwe at the 104. You could have drafted, Judkins or Tyler Warren at the 104. Yeah, but I got Lad McConkey. Like I didn't have to take the risk, because the other alternative is that the 104 you draft Cam Ward, and Cam Ward looks like he's not that good right now. Or you could draft somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. There's always like hedging your bets. Ugly one, full PPR and a big play bonus. I need one running back and 2 flex. Chase Brown, Michael Carter, Pacheco, Harvey, Ellick, and Mason Taylor. Michael Carter, Chase Brown would be 2 of them. I think Mason Taylor's the other one for the 1 running back and the 2 flex. Also, Dak versus Carolina or Fields versus Denver. I would go Dak. Titans, Jags, or Chargers defense. I stream defense. That's how you should be doing it. You should be streaming defense. I have... the Chargers defense is the highest one. I don't necessarily disagree with you, Johnny. I kind of agree. Amon-Ra, Diggs, Ridley, and Matthew Golden are my wide receivers for a contending team. How are we feeling about Golden? Honestly think he's 2 deep balls that were missed away from having hype like the other rooks. I didn't love Matthew Golden as a prospect. I thought he was a good, not great, kind of a boom-bust guy. That's going to be the kind of... if you miss the deep balls, that's what's going to happen with Matthew Golden. So, I mean, I like Amon-Ra. I think Diggs is looking really solid. Ridley's meh. Golden, I think, is meh, personally. But, yeah, I mean, that's how I feel. Just got offered Achane and J-Mo for Bill, Caleb, Johnson, and Tesla. The fuck are we doing here? Why has that not been accepted? Take Achane and J-Mo for Bill, Caleb, and Tesla all day long. That, we're not being for real. You're trolling, right, Trap? Studley says that's exactly how I see it too. Cool. To see somebody agree. Love your content. Appreciate you, man. I really do. Thank you. A-Rod says, in a league where I'm rebuilding, literally just got sent getting McCarthy, Penix, London, and a 3rd for Caleb, Rogers, Judkins, and a late 1st. It's already declined, but wanted your thoughts. It's a super flex league. It's one that when you see initially, you're like, eh. I think Caleb is the best. It's between Caleb or London for the most valuable asset in the deal from a dynasty perspective. The late 1st and Judkins probably equals McCarthy and Penix. I think probably Judkins in the late 1st is probably the more valuable. I take the Caleb, the Judkins in the late 1st. It's a close deal. It's not a bad offer. But I think there's more risk on the McCarthy, Penix, London side, and I think there's less upside on the McCarthy, Penix, London side personally too. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Got offered Hall, Pollard, and Coleman for Swift, DK, and JCM. Should I accept? What the hell? Oh my God. What is going on here? Let me try and fix this. God damn it. Hold on. How about that? Is that better? Jesus. Got offered Hall, Pollard, and Coleman for Swift, DK, and JCM. Should I accept in a full PPR? No, I'd rather have the DK side. And then last question here from Jack, and then we'll get on out of here. Someone just sent me another trade, 2026 first for Saquon. I'm going to take it. No, I would rather have Saquon than the 26 first. If you're contending, if you're rebuilding, I still don't know if I think Saquon should still go for more than that. But so I'm probably declining. I'll let Johnny have the last one. PPR, no tight end premium. You start one. Brock Wright, JJ McCarthy, Jettas, or Hawk. Yeah, I mean, the answer is Brock Wright, Johnny. Well, I mean, honestly, Jettas might get you the same amount of points as Brock Wright might this week. So, who knows? Maybe just throw Jettas in the lineup for the vibes. Tingley says, what up, Andrew? Happy Friday. Appreciate you, man. We are getting on out of here. Johnny says, thanks, bro. Jack says, thanks, man. Appreciate everybody for being here tonight. Means a lot. As always, like I said, hit the like button if you haven't already. It's the best free way to show this channel some support. Also, make sure you guys are subscribed. Go join our free Discord. We're in there talking with you guys 24/7, 365. There's a group of 500 people in there that want to talk fantasy with you. So even if I'm not around, 24/7, somebody will be to bounce some ideas off of. So appreciate everybody who's been here. Trap says, love you. Thanks for the chill session. Love you guys too, man. I will see you guys on our next episode, though. Till then, peace out.